Hi, Mandy. Can you hear me?
Yeah, yes, I can.
Hey, back. Good to see you.
Yeah.
Hey, well, sounds like your brother is playing video games again.
Yeah,
Can I get your student ID number, please?
yeah, I just sent it in the chat.
Is this for ECED 313?
Yes.
And are you drafting or revising?
So-called, I have written a discussion post. I'm so-called like maybe like seeing if I need to add more or like rewording.
Okay, let me upgrade it to revising. So no TEFL courses this semester, Mandy?
No.
Okay, you're all signed in. We
Okay.
can get started now. So why don't you go ahead and share your screen with me and take me to the discussion post on D2L so I can have a look at it, okay?
Yes. Uh, this is the prop for the discussion post.
It, by the way, really quick,
Yes.
how did you do in the assessment class
I
last
got
semester?
a A.
Oh, congratulations. Good job. Okay, so this is discussion prompt one, language in the brain. Let's see. You want to go ahead and read it out loud for me?
Yeah, okay. Brain research has shown that rapid brain growth in the early years of human development goes hand in hand with rapid language acquisition. Watch Patricia Cruz video titled Linguistic Genius of Babies, about 13 minutes, and answer the following questions. At what age do young children begin to lose the ability to differentiate speech sounds from any language? 1A. Why do babies change from citizens of the world to culture-bound listeners by losing this ability to hear differences in speech sounds regardless of language? B. Using an example you have experienced briefly, discuss the role a human being plays in a child's language development. Can a child learn more than one language from birth? What conditions would make it possible? 2. Given what you learned from the video, what advice would you give to parents who are considering exposing their child to recorded languages to try to help their child learn the language, even though the language is not spoken in the home?
Okay. And have you typed anything?
Yeah, it's just um since like the first two questions are kind of similar, I have answered it. Uh, it's
Do
just
you need help in understanding the difference between number one and two?
yeah, in some way because it looks kind of similar. The questions, um, yeah,
Let me have a closer look to see if I can see a difference. All right, so number one says, at what age do young children begin to lose the ability to differentiate speech sounds from any language? Or do babies change from citizens of the world to culture-bound listeners by losing this ability to hear differences in speech sounds regardless of language? Using an example you have experienced, briefly discuss the role the human being plays in a child's development. Can a child learn more than one language from birth? What conditions make it possible? And then, okay, so number one is a lot to answer. And then number two says, given what you learned from the video, what advice would you give to parents who are considering exposing their child to recorded language to try to help their child learn the language, even though the language isn't spoken at home? Okay, so the difference between number one and number two is that number one wants you to answer these questions that are directly from the video. So you need the video to answer those questions.
Yeah, that video, a TED Talk.
Right, exactly. But then number two is asking you to think a little more critically, because it's not necessarily asking for answers from the video. It's asking you to take what you've learned from the video and then turn it into advice, your own personal advice that you would give to parents who are considering exposing their child to recorded language to try to help them learn, even though it's not spoken.
Okay.
So the answers for number two are not going to be from the video. You're going to need to create that answer from your own mind. Using what you've learned from the video. You gotta come up with you gotta create a way to think of advice that you would give to parents who want their children to learn a new language. Okay. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So number one, that's all information that you would get directly from the video. Number two, you got to come up with something from your own mind.
Okay. I so could have written something for these questions.
Okay, let's have a look. Okay, so let's start with number one. Go ahead and read the answer out loud.
Okay. The age where young children begin to lose their ability to differentiate speech sounds from any language is before their first birthday.
Okay. Is that true? Is that what the video says?
Yeah, they meant yeah, they mentioned it was before their first birthday.
Okay, fantastic. All right, let's why don't you go ahead and read the answer for 1A.
Okay. Babies are no longer citizens of the world because when they turn 1 year old, they become culture-bound listeners. This means that babies will be listening more to the language of those around them than to the sounds from other languages that are not directly spoken to them.
Okay, let me read that question. Why do babies change from citizens to culture-bound listeners by losing this ability to hear differences in speech sounds, regardless of language? Okay. Yeah, I think that answers the question. Let's see if we could reword it a
Oh,
little bit better.
okay. Yeah, sure.
Let's see. Babies are no longer citizens of the world because they because um, okay. Do you see the first sentence that says babies are no longer citizens of the world because?
Yeah. Yes. Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Okay, delete the word because. These are no longer citizens of the world when they turn 1 year old. Full stop after the word old. Capitalize the T in they. They become culture-bound listeners. After the word listeners, type the word instead. Stop.
Use it a period.
Yeah, after instead. Okay. Next sentence. This means that babies will be. Okay, you see all those words. This means that babies will be. Delete all that. So this all the way to be. And then type the word they. Turn listening into listen. They listen more to the language. Listen more to the language. Those around them. You see the words of those.
Yes.
Replace of those with spoken. They listen more to the language spoken around them than to to. You see the word the, then to the.
Yeah.
Delete the
Yes.
word. Delete the word the.
Okay.
Then to sounds from, which is sounds from other languages that are not. You see the words that are.
Yes.
Delete those two words that are. Directly spoken to them, not spoken directly to them. Okay. Switch the positions of directly spoken so that it says spoken directly. Okay, let me run it back from the top just to make sure. Babies are no longer citizens of the world when they turn 1 year old. They become culture-bound listeners instead. They listen more to the language spoken around them than to sounds from other languages not spoken directly to them. How does that sound?
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Okay,
Mm.
let's move on to 1B. Read the answer out loud.
Um, an example that I experienced where a human being plays a major role in a child's language development is how talking to kids helps them understand the language. Children will be able to repeat what they hear after they hear it a few times. I've seen this happen at the daycare where I work during the morning drop-offs. My coworker will say hi in Chinese, which is ni hao. One morning, I saw one of the students of a delay in his speech repeat what my coworker said, which was ni hao. This was unusual because the child never talked until recently, and yet was able to respond to my coworker. Yes.
Okay, I scroll up a little bit so I can see the question. Using an example you have experienced, briefly discuss the role of humans in child's language. All right, let's see. Example that I experienced where a human being plays a major role in a child's language development is how talking to kids helps them understand the language. Okay, let's see. Um, at the very beginning, where it says an example,
Yes.
replace the word an with one. Example that I experienced. Delete the word that.
Uh,
One example I experienced. Plays a major role in the child's language development. I would delete everything from the word where all the way to development.
mm,
Yeah, delete all that. One example I experienced. Type the word involved. One example I experienced involved. Okay, type what I say.
mm,
Involved kids understanding a language Example I experienced involved kids understanding a language with help
Is help?
with help.
Uh,
No,
with
not is.
with
Is. So with help from talking to adults. Full stop. Okay. Go ahead and delete how talking to kids helps them understand language. See, one example I experienced involved kids understanding a language with help from talking to adults. Let's see. Children will be able to repeat what they hear after they hear it a few times. Okay. Children will be able to repeat. You see the words will be able to.
yes.
Okay, delete will be able to with can. Children can repeat. Children can repeat hear after they hear it a few times. You're a bit repetitive with the word hear, so we can change this. Let's see. Children can repeat what they hear after, and then you see the words they hear it a few times.
Yes.
Okay, replace those words with a few repetitions. A few, and then repetitions, plural. Children can repeat what they hear after a few repetitions. I have seen this happen at the daycare where I work during the morning drop off. Okay, let's rephrase it like this. I have, you see the word seen?
Yes.
Replace seen with observed. Observed this. You see the word happen?
Yes.
Yeah, delete the word happen.
Oh, okay.
Observed this at the daycare where I work. You see the word where?
Yes.
Delete that word. Where? I have observed this at the daycare observed this at the daycare I work. Right click the word I. Okay. Select where I observed this at the daycare where I work. And then go ahead and delete during the morning drop-offs. My coworker will say hi in Chinese. Let's see. You see the word my?
Yes.
Okay, delete my with, replace my with a.
Mm.
Coworker, place the word will with would. You see the word hi in quotations?
Yes.
Replace hi with ni hao.
Oh.
And then after the second quotation,
Mhm.
in parentheses, type hi in Chinese. Yeah, put a parenthesis right there. And then go ahead and delete, which is ni hao. Okay, a coworker would say ni hao, hi in Chinese. After the hi in Chinese in parentheses,
Yes.
type to a student. One morning, I saw one of the students with a delay in his speech. Repeat what my coworker said. Okay, so at the beginning of that sentence, type the student had a delay in his speech. Full stop.
Okay.
One morning, I saw one of the students with a delay in his speech. So everything from one to speech. Yeah, delete all that. Okay, let's see. The student had a delay in his speech. Okay, now type. However, comma, the same student was able to eventually repeat what my coworkers said. Okay, and then replace that comma after said with a full stop. Delete, which was ni hao. Okay, now type up until this point, comma, the student was mute. Stop.
Delete everything.
Yeah, delete the rest. Okay, you just go over it one more time here just to make sure it checks out. One example I experienced involved kids understanding a language with help from talking to adults. Children can repeat what they hear after a few repetitions. I have observed this at the daycare where I work. At the daycare where let's change that so it says at the daycare I work at.
Mm.
I have observed this at the daycare I work at.
What I change?
You see the word where?
Yes.
You delete the word where. And then after the word shoot, right click I.
Yeah, I think this is want the weird back.
I know. Okay, select that. That's actually grammatically correct.
Okay.
Okay. A coworker would say ni hao, hi in Chinese, to a student. The student had a delay in speech. However, the same student was able to eventually Repeat what my coworker said. Up until this point, the student was mute. How does that sound?
Yeah, okay.
Okay, let's scroll down. Go ahead and read your answer for C.
Okay. From what I saw in the video, it seems like babies can absorb language and at the same time not understand the language being spoken to them. In the research shown in the video, English-speaking babies were shown not to understand what was spoken to them since it is not part of their first language. When it comes to conditions that would make language learning possible, the babies need to be exposed to the sounds of the language. The babies also need people to talk to them in another language for them to understand what is being said to them.
I saw in the video, see what babies can absorb, which is at the same time not understand the language. Okay, let's do this. The words from what I saw in the video,
Yes.
it seems like. So delete everything from the word from all the way to like.
Like,
And then capitalize the B in babies. Okay, babies can absorb. Delete the word can.
mhm.
Babies absorb languages after the word languages. Type even though, even though they may not. Delete the words and at the same time not. So everything from and to not. Delete all that.
Okay.
Even though they may not understand. Being understand. After the word understand,
Understand.
type what is. And then delete the words the language being. You read it out loud real quick. Babies absorb languages even though they may not understand what is spoken to them. Okay. In the research shown in the video, I would delete the beginning part of that sentence. So everything word in all the way to video. Right there. Just delete all that. English speaking babies were shown not to understand spoken to them. English speaking babies were shown. You see the words were shown?
Yes.
Okay, delete those two words. Type the word do. English speaking babies do not. Delete the word to. English speaking babies do not understand what was what was. You see the word was?
Yes.
Let's delete that with is. English speaking babies do not understand what is spoken. Do not understand. You see the words what is spoken to them?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead and delete everything between what and them. Type the word speech. Speech. There's the word sense.
Yes. Oh, okay. Mhm.
It's the word them with they. The word babies. Yeah, babies.
Okay.
delete the words to be. Exposed becomes exposure. Exposure to language sounds.
Oh, after the two.
Stop. Delete the sounds. Awesome. Delete the word the.
For this next one, no.
Yes. Capitalize the words. Yes. On to that. It's awesome. Okay. Delete everything from people to them. But not that them.
Oh, the first one.
Yes. Word communication. It's also need language for them. Delete the words for them.
Okay.
It's also need to understand. Delete the words to them. Okay. Let me read this from the top. Babies absorb languages, though they may not understand. English speaking babies do not understand speech. That is not exposure to sounds. It's also need communication to understand. As I said.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, Mandy, it's 12:50 and I need to start getting ready for my 1 o'clock.
Yes, okay.
So I'm gonna type some visit notes here and you to help with this, okay? So
Mhm.
I'm gonna start it, but I want you to finish it, okay? So here we go. Say he and I met you. Now you finish it.
Work on revising my discussion board post.
Okay, let me read what I got.
Yeah.
Mandy and I met online to collaboratively revise our discussion post.
Yeah.
So, yeah. All set, Mandy.
Yes.
All right. So listen, when is this assignment due?
I have due next Friday. There's another time.
Okay. Why don't you go ahead and schedule another appointment between now and the date so that we can finish revising the rest that we can get to finish today, okay?
Yeah, okay. Good, thank you. You cannot eat my food.
Please.
Find the potato one. I want to make the potato noodles or go next door buy some goodies.
Yes.
What the hell? Then go get change.
Hell yeah.